Hi, welcome to the third video in our video series, Forgiveness Fallacies. Today we're looking at the fallacy of forgiving debt. This occurred to me as I was in church one Sunday listening to the Lord's Prayer being recited. There's a piece of the Lord's Prayer that says, "Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors." And I thought about what it means to forgive debt. It occurred to me that debt is a concept which originates from the marketplace. It comes from contractual obligations. So when we are in contract with somebody else, we agree to give a certain good or service for another good or service of equal value. And if one of us doesn't provide the value we agree upon, then that person is in debt, right? It's easy to identify, it's easy to solve because it's all very objective and contractual. But contractual obligations do not apply to human relationships. Human relationships are mainly internal experiences. We're working with intangible qualities that can't be explained or expressed or objectified in the sense they can't be made objective, which means that contracts cannot be applied to relationships and neither can debt. So the fallacy I'm talking about is that there's no need to forgive debt because debt doesn't exist in relationship. And forgiveness is usually applied to human relationships. So when I say that there cannot be debt in human relationships, I do not mean to say that there can't be imbalance in human relationships. In fact, probably that's where the idea of debt comes from in relationships. A lot of times people will express to me that they are giving, and not receiving in equal measure. So when that happens, we can do one of three things. We can either decide the person is not living up to the obligation they have to us, which is implying there's a contract, which is not possible. And we can say they're in debt to us, and then we can either hold them in debt or we can forgive them of the debt, try to forgive them of the debt. Or we can decide the imbalance between giving and receiving has to be rectified by us stopping giving to them. Okay, so now we're not receiving, but we're also not giving. So now we've balanced the equation, which I guess is technically true, except that what was just a broken energy cycle, which was giving and not receiving, is now a dead energy cycle. It's completely stagnant. This is not an ideal solution. The third thing we can do is realize that the reason we are not receiving has almost nothing to do with another person's willingness or ability to give to us, and is almost exclusively about the fact that we are bad at receiving. That's an important thing to think about. Your receiving muscles are not well developed. And I think this is often the case in human beings, is that the giving and receiving spiritual muscles are different muscles. And early in our lives, we become good at doing one or the other. So if you're someone who's in an imbalanced relationship because you're so good at giving and you're not receiving very much, likely early in your life, you became really good at giving. And now there's a lag in your ability to receive. When we realize this, it can really be an awesome opportunity for us because we realize it's not the world that's out of whack, it's us, which means we are capable of healing and growing these muscles to fix the imbalance ourselves. So one way to start balancing the equation between giving and receiving is to take some of that energy that you're over-investing in others in the hopes that they'll take care of you. You take some of that energy back and you start investing it in yourself, and you become your own closed energy cycle. You're giving to yourself, which is you're good at giving, and you're receiving from yourself, which actually is going to be a little hard, right? You're not that good at that. But the more you practice taking care of yourself and live into that energy cycle, the better you get. And as you become more comfortable with receiving care from yourself, those muscles are getting more developed. You discover that you're more able to receive gifts from other people. And so now you're beginning to flow into relationship, not in a contractual way, but in a truly loving, compassionate way. And what will happen is that as you become more balanced, you will either stop attracting people who are not willing to be in a mutual relationship. That's one thing that will happen. But you will also discover that people that you thought were not good at giving suddenly become really good at it because you're finally letting them give to you. So you might be amazed at how many people around you that you think are just takers are actually just stuck in your cycle of not receiving. So what I believe is once we're in this state of balance, we're able to give and receive in equal measure, we become capable of unconditional love, which is the highest ideal in human relationships. Unconditional love, meaning that we can offer a gift to somebody with no conditions, no strings attached, no need to be paid back, because we are in a cycle in which every time we empty ourselves, we are also filled right back up. So we are giving not out of scarcity or a need to hold on to somebody or get them to take care of us, but out of a true experience of love and compassion for them. And once we are living in unconditional love, we no longer have to experience imbalance, but we also no longer have to experience debt. And so we have nothing to forgive. I hope you'll join me next week for our final video in this series. See you then.